right, Justin. Thanks for talking about Monster Hunter, Overwatch.
Thanks for coming back
Pokemans.
onto the lobby.
Yeah.
Giving us a resounding, successful hosting job. Like you're a professional host through and through.
Thank you.
He's so much more than that.
so much more.
Are you gonna talk about what your next adventure is, or is that hush hush for now?
Yeah, I think I could talk about it. We're going to transition into the next segment here and talk about GameSpot over the past 9 or so years, and then talk about GameSpot into the future with both myself and Ty Root taking off. Mary Kish is going to come on and chat, but you and I will talk later about more stuff like that. Mr. Haywald, thank you.
No, thank you.
Fairly well. Mr. Brown, stick around, because you've been here for how many of my
guess.
9 years? All right.
Guess.
Peter Brown started at GameSpot. You have been here for 5.5 years.
Ooh, it's pretty close. Almost 5.
Almost 5?
I started in October, November of 11. Mary, what are you doing? Get on the set. Come here.
Justin is sneaking about.
Oh God.
Oh, he left his computer.
I actually want to get a shot at it.
That's how you sneak in. What's that? Alpha Protocol.
Oh,
Remember that game?
Yep.
This is the stealth. God. This is stealthy.
No one knows I'm here.
Hey guys, I'm here. Oh, I bet you didn't see me approach. Alpha Protocol. Hi, Mary Kish.
Hi, Chris Waters.
Welcome to the lobby. We're here to talk about something that is very near and dear to all our hearts.
You?
Me.
What a transition. What a pro.
Yeah, originally, let's just be real here. Originally, this was going to be a Danny O'Dwyer hosted segment talking about, me and my time at GameSpot and all the changes. But Danny's horribly ill, and so we're gonna do it ourselves because you guys have been here for quite some time as well. I mean, it's no 9.5 years.
But the way it's going, we're seniors now.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Peter, you're saying you've been here for 5 years. Mary, you've been here for 3. And so you guys have seen, you sort of come in at different eras of my GameSpot career. When you came on, Peter, I was a reviewer.
You were doing, a lot of reviews, a lot of previews,
Yeah.
which you offered a lot of guidance in terms of how I should
Oh,
write.
yeah. Yeah, so all right, let's go through the phases of Waters' career.
That's right. You didn't start where many people might think you started, did you?
You were a
Chris?
janitor, right?
Yes. No, I came on mostly just hanging around the loading dock and, picking up litter occasionally, just a good scout. No, I started in 2007 as a data producer, which, what does that mean? That's Marco Martinez and Gadget Kulasingham do similar versions of this job now, but it's basically like keeping the site up to date with screenshots and release dates and stats on games and posting data and creating new game spaces for games. Like, it's why when you go to GameSpot, you can get information about games is because someone in the data production team has put the basics in there and created that skeleton. So that job was like, my qualifications for that job were like an internship I had at Games Radar, where I did kind of that and also wrote news stories. But it was a lot about maintaining, keeping my eye on a large diversity of games. But when I came on, that was while Jeff Gerstmann was still EIC and Alex Navarro was the head of reviews. And I told him right away, look, I want to write reviews. I want to be a writer for this site. That's why I came here. That's what I want to do. And they're like, all right, cool. And, then I had a manager then who let me like
Trial by fire.
Here's a new Sonic game.
Yeah.
Go.
No, like the first game I reviewed was, because this was the year the Wii came out, was Pool Party for the Wii.
Pool party.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of pool? Are we talking like billiards? Are we talking about billiards within a pool?
No, there was no actual pool, though it's swimming.
Oh,
it
man.
was, line them up, hit the cue balls into the other balls, make the balls go in the holes.
That's my least favorite pool party. What did it get?
I think it was like a 5 or a 6. Solid. It was like, look, this works fine. It's real bare bones. But I think that was my first GameSpot byline. And this was like literally something that Alex Navarro, I don't know, he like bought it in a bargain bin at Target and was like, it was part of that Wii like shovel. Oh my God, they found it. There it is. 5. Technical tuning allows for nasty trick shots. Good selection of pool games. Technical tuning allows for easy misfires. There's a little parallelism for you guys.
I'd like to know.
Large useless image obscured the table. Oh, that's right.
Oh, it's just broken.
Well, they just had this huge, like, you're trying to aim and there's like a big thing in the way.
It's like the logo for the game in the middle of the screen. You're playing pool party.
Yeah. And then sound is maddening. That's never a good sign.
No.
Sound. Wow, eloquently said though. The sound is maddening.
Oh God, so frustrating. But yeah, so that then there was a pretty sizable exodus on the GameSpot editorial side, and Thanksgiving,
A giant exodus.
yes, a December that led to the creation of Giant Bomb a year later. But that opened up a place on the reviews team, and so I went over there and began that was like my second job of 4, by the way, at GameSpot. And this is I really value this time because, as Peter sort of alluded to, this was a time of like professional development in that the writing was like the crucible on which you were proven. Peter, the QA process.
Oh man, we still peer review everything with a very keen eye on grammar and all those things, but also like style and voice and making sure arguments are very solid. And I had done a lot of like tech writing before coming to GameSpot, but I'd never really reviewed games on the scale the way we do now or then. And I'll never forget my first few reviews, sending those around and getting the feedback. And I was like, I am either the worst writer in the world, or these people have no respect for me, or both,
It was a nice mix.
Yeah,
Cocktail, we
but
don't
really,
like to divulge the exact ratios.
what it boiled down to is that I had a lot of ground to cover in terms of becoming a good writer that could stand up to people like yourself and Carolyn Pettit and Tom McShay, and it was really hard. And but you guys definitely got me in the right mindset, and I'm still learning. I'm still figuring stuff out, but you guys were critical to my development here.
Dude,
for sure.
It was every day. Like, not just every review I would write, but every review everyone else would write. They would send around,
And
you would
preview.
you would just go through it and be like, okay, not just, we had a copy editor, so grammar was mostly taken care of.
True, yeah.
But it'd be like, oh, hey, here's where you could have made your point better. Hey, I'm not sure. I don't quite get it. Hey, this doesn't seem as big a deal as you think it seems.
Hyperbole
Or this,
much?
This seems like it should be a way bigger deal. Or
Right.
like, why did you barely talk about this? Why are you talking about this so much? Like, literally from all angles.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember it was a process that we tried to like soft pedal a little bit for newcomers, but any way you go about it, it was vicious. It wasn't vicious. It was intense. It was
Yeah.
not mean-spirited.
No
It
one pulled
was
me punches.
thorough.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
There were figures.
I got hit a lot.
Kevin Van Or's got quite a haymaker.
Yeah. Short arms though.
But this is one of the things.
His legacy.
But this is one of the things I was thinking about it, and over the years at GameSpot, I've gotten the question a lot. Like, how do I get your job? How do I get to work at a GameSpot? I'm sure you guys have gotten that question dozens of times yourselves. One of the things the first thing I say is, whatever you want to do, just start doing it.
Yep.
Start doing it. And I'm not saying you're starting and just writing for GameSpot. You want to write reviews? Start writing reviews.
Prove it.
Write your reviews. And it's most like when you start, it's going to be for yourself. It's going to be I like doing this. It's going to be, oh, this one was better than the last one. It's going to be, how did I take on this game versus this game versus this game? But the second part is to get yourself into a community where people will give you feedback, because that was what made me in terms of a writer and a critical thinker. That was like intense professional development, and it's so valuable to get that kind of feedback. Even if it's not always the easiest process.
Dude, I went to art school for 4 years. I dealt with a lot of critical feedback, and that couldn't even prepare me for the sort of dissections that were happening.
Reviews are very personal too, so you kind of put your heart in your review. So to have someone critique it can almost feel like a little bit of a personal attack. So I think it can be, you kind of have to build up quite a shell to work here at any review site, not just from your peers, people who you respect, but from the mountains and mountains of mean comments that you will receive on something that you worked really hard on and really, put your best into. I don't think it's easy to be a reviewer.
It's definitely not easy. And yeah, the comments, 10 comments about like, good review, hey, nice work. And the one that's like, wow, this reviewer is really terrible and can't make a good argument, and that score doesn't even make sense. That's the one that sticks with you.
That's what keeps you up at night.
Well, until you learn to process that. And I think, people describe it as a shell, but for me, like it's like it's an inner strength. It's an inner confidence. It's like, hey, this stuff is just going to like like, you know, if it sticks in me, it's like a little sting, it's going to go away. But I know, because I have dedicated myself to this work, that I'm doing good work. I know because I'm engaged with people who are engaged with me about this work and giving me good feedback. That's the opinion that matters. I know that I'm moving forward and growing. So yeah, definitely developing that strength of, you know, not strength of, to the point where you're like, I'm right all the time.
You certainly are not.
No,
No one is.
Because you ain't gonna be, and you
Right.
need people to tell you that, and you need to be able to tell that to yourself. So, yeah, that was a really great time for me at GameSpot, was that review squad.
Yeah, and I loved being a part of that team with you. I mean, I looked up to you, and I still do, but I just remember like the caliber of your writing, the caliber of your critiques were so high that it was just like, I want to impress. Like, you were one of the people I wanted to impress the most, because at least in terms of how I improved over time. Because I thought, man, this guy knows. Like he like everyone else did too, but you had your own angle, and I was like, I want to please that perspective.
Thank you, Peter. That means a lot to me. Peter Brown has not been compensated for
Just to throw a personal anecdote out there, like I always liked you from day one. When
I liked you more.
Yeah, well, when I knew I really liked you when you and I got in a pretty cool argument in Germany one year that involved a lot of yelling and fist pounding on the table, and it was over something pretty just meaningless, but like we were fucking going at it, pardon the language. And the next day it was like a funny story. And I was just worried that like I had offended you, but I was glad that I still liked you after that.
Yeah, really?
I was like, why do I still like this guy? Okay, yeah, there's good reasons there. Even though I feel like,
dude, we were.
Oh, it was great.
We were like at this bar in Germany, like very briskly back and forth, and like you don't even, dude, you're not even making sense. Like literally, like not like
I remember the
not
conversation.
to the point of like ad hominem attacks, but to the point of like, listen, your whole argument, your whole perspective is invalid. Like we were both entrenched, but like, and like we weren't the only ones in the bar. All our other coworkers were around, like, hey, we're gonna go over here for a little bit now. Oh, hey, what's up?
This is intense.
you know what's funny?
Hey guys, look at this candle. The wax is melted and it looks like a duck penis.
Not that one. That
we
was them
can't-
trying to
That
break the
sounds
ice.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really people like, we were having this heated argument. And, they
And I
wanted
don't think
to
we had
diffuse
had like
it.
a real exchange up until that point. It had always been like sort of like passing, just like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We got to know each other.
Head to head.
And it's funny is, I wouldn't say it was a turning point for me and Mary, but there was another time in public where I got in a big argument with Mary over something.
Yep.
We were yelling and pounding fists on the table over something.
Can I tell them what it was?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Peter and I had a really, really bad argument where we actually were fighting about whether or not you could eat a bagel with cream cheese upside down to have it not get in your beard and mustache.
Like turn the cream cheese facing down. And
Oh, here we go. We're
I
gonna do it all
believed
over again.
that if you flipped it upside down, that would prevent cream cheese issues. Peter was adamant that it wouldn't. He's bearded.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure I was right at the time. Yeah. So anyway, we got really into it, and then I think like yelling, and then I don't know. Like a couple months later, he was like, "What were you fighting about?" And then we remembered what it was, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're totally right." And he was just like, "I'm gonna kill you." I don't remember.
That's how I bond with people. Is I get in arguments
maybe
with them.
that's our way.
Well, I mean, that seems like it's a bit of a theme here. Is like, look, if you are, engaged with something, ours was game related, it was about VR and sort of user experience of VR and how you could judge the quality of VR and whatnot. Whether it's sort of career related or not, you can have these intense interactions with people and come out stronger than ever before.
Especially you. You're a testament to being responsible and mature and not upsetting people.
Do you hear that narrative?
It's
That's
true.
the dominant narrative here, folks, no matter what else you heard.
So even though you had quite the run at reviews, you also did a lot more besides that, didn't you, Chris? What else did you do at GameSpot?
Transition, Mary.
This is my transition.
Well, this is one of the things about GameSpot that like I am so grateful for having worked here is like, here I am on video talking into a camera. This is not something I ever envisioned I would do. This is not something I ever thought I wanted to do or would even be good at doing necessarily. But because I was at GameSpot, because I did video reviews and then was on the spot and other shows, I got opportunity hosting E3 stuff. I got the opportunity to do it, and I really like it. It's like really fun, and it became this avenue of professional development that, that I carried and did like years of video, just mostly video production in terms of, not production in terms of like I can edit video. I can't edit video still. That's what other people
You were there
do.
during that period where we had to edit our own videos.
They tried to get me to edit video a few times in my
You
tenure at
smashed the
GameSpot, and I'm not
keys.
saying that that's not a good idea. Listen, if you have any inclination of working in the video field, I highly recommend you pick up some video editing skills.
Prove it.
No, I'm already here. I'm already good. But yeah, like working on video scripts, and we'll talk about this a little bit when we get Ty Root in here, is GameSpot over, the past many years has shifted, to put a lot more resources into video, because that's an incredible way for people to engage with, video games, and also just a dynamic way for us to engage our host, our audience, and y'all like to watch some videos. Videos are popular on internet.
Also, live video was starting to get popular, and GameSpot was at the forefront of that. We had live shows run by like a dynamic team from like Ryan McDonald and Jean Mejaer and Dan Mahorek, who worked tirelessly to kind of make everything work. And On the Spot was kind of like our show. That was what made people think of GameSpot, was On the Spot.
the
Totally.
flagship video product.
And
I mean,
and
this
that
is
was you.
this is like the 4th or 5th incarnation of that show, and
By
the
all
lobby.
means,
yeah.
this is On the Spot. In fact, we went through a lot of iterations of calling it that, but we decided to kind of move forward in a different direction back in the day. But
which
yeah.
was already a few years ago now, because this show's been going on for a little bit.
Yep.
But there was a period where I was on this show a lot, and then I wasn't on this show. I left all of you. I'm so sorry. That was a period. So I'm moving into my the video host and producer. Then the 4th and final period of my employment at GameSpot was as a producer in our sponsored content initiatives. So if you guys watched Inside Fire Emblem Fates and Lego Dimensions and Holiday Gift Guide and a lot of these things, these videos we worked on over the years that are sponsored by clients, we don't have our editorial staff go on them, because our editorial staff does not get sponsored. We are not influenced by the money that is spent on advertising.
You mean we don't
on
get
the site.
checks for scores?
We
and
don't get checks, Peter. Those have been
What?
coming out of my own personal agenda fund, as I like to call it. I've been seeding.
And it isolated you to some degree, where now that you were a part of sponsored content, you were actually no longer allowed to do anything editorial, from reviews to opinionated pieces to our editorial show, which is The Lobby. So unfortunately, although that decision made you so monumental in other things that helped GameSpot incredibly, they were kind of more behind the scenes in many ways. And a lot of people missed you. A lot of people always were wondering, where's that guy at that we like?
Yeah.
That guy?
What's he doing?
What's he doing?
what was the last review you wrote?
I believe it was Halo 4.
Pull it up.
Or it was... Did I do some small Irritum? Was that after Halo 4? Irritum was this small indie platformer thing that was not quite finished that I reviewed.
I remember the Halo.
Yeah, that was probably the last big one. But so the reason that I sort of disappeared, and I guess I think I talked about this a little bit in various formats, but that was me trying to try something new, reaching a point where I've been at GameSpot for 7 years and realizing hey, I need a new growth opportunity. I need to take on new challenges. There's a lot that goes on in this company that I don't know a ton about. And so let me try to do that. Let me try to find a new kind of area to learn about, and I really did. And working with clients and working with sales and working that whole pipeline, which is almost totally unseen by the audience. That you only see the final products, and that's only on the ones that get sold. Now I come up with a dozen ideas, and one of them gets made, just because that's the nature of pitching things to clients.
Your
and stuff
least
like that.
favorite idea.
Not always.
I don't know.
No.
I'm just making that up.
Yeah, no, we made some cool stuff during that project, but I also realized that I came to miss being on camera a bunch, and miss hosting video, and miss talking with y'all, and miss being in front of y'all, and that was something that helped motivate me to start looking around for a new gig, which is why I am leaving GameSpot, because I have a new job that I'm starting in about a week and a half.
Can you tell us more about that job, Chris Waters?
Sure, Mary Kish. That job is I'm going to be, I've been curious for many years about the other side. We're a media company. What's on the other side of that? The publishing companies, people that make games. I have really no skills germane to making games, but I am going to be going to work for a publisher, Ubisoft, and I'm going to be working there on a team that does their content for their YouTube channel and the Ubi blog, and really growing that video presence there. We have a beloved coworker of ours and friend of GameSpot, Andy Bauman, went over there to join that team a few months ago. I will be joining him. And Giancarlo Veronini also.
Juan Carlos Veroninos.
Yes, the man
Also
of many
ex-GameSpot.
cultures. Yeah. He was my manager for many years.
Were you here?
at
Because he was
GameSpot.
here at GameSpot twice.
I was here for the
So-
second time, not the first time.
not the first time?
The first time was way, way back in the early 2000s.
When he invented Let's Plays.
Yes.
Did he tell you about this?
No, he did not tell me about that.
Giancarlo invented Let's Plays the day that he sat down in front of a green screen and they shot him from the back commenting on DuckTales footage on the NES. So if you go back, there's a video of him commenting on DuckTales footage from like 2004 maybe. He invented
That
Let's
whole
Plays.
early 2000s at GameSpot, before video production technology and stuff became as relatively affordable as it is today, this site was did a lot of pioneering stuff, and you mentioned it earlier with our live coverage, Mary. And so that's been another fun thing about working for the site, is being part of that. But yeah, I'm gonna go work for Ubisoft.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's just around the way. It's over on 3rd Street, and I'm working with people that I really trust and enjoy, and working for a company that I've admired. I mean, I don't like every single Ubisoft game that they ever publish,
You
but
can't say that now.
Dude.
well, don't start for a week and a half. But man, I was going down the list preparing for these interviews, and yeah, I like that game, played that game, love that game, like that game. There's a ton of games. I mean, all right, let me back off of that. Ben, let me just say this. One of the things I liked about working for GameSpot on the editorial team was being able to cover a diversity of games. Ubisoft's catalog is diverse, and I'm excited to get to make videos about that stuff, get back in front of the camera a bunch more, and just kind of take on a new scene. Although I am sad to leave you guys, because GameSpot has been a transformative place for me, to say the least. And working with people like you and all the folks that I've worked with over the years, some of whom are still here and some of whom are on to new adventures, has been fantastic. I mean, you get to work at a place for a big chunk of years, and then you start I don't know if you guys do this, you start comparing it to other times in your life that have been lengthy. I was in college for 4 years.
Yeah. I was thinking about that just the other day, actually.
Yeah? It's
strange.
Yeah, I've been doing this I lived in the Bay Area for over a decade. I've worked at GameSpot for almost a decade. The sort of scope of things and their impact on your life, you start to reflect on that a lot more when you are coming to the end of that time. And so I've been doing that a lot, and it's been wonderful to remember everything. And I could go on and on about being super mushy, but suffice to say, thank you.
Yeah.
And thank all of you. It's really meant a lot to me to do stuff for you guys, to be up here, and to have all your support. Okay. Do you want to say another thing before I change the subject and not be emotional?
Yeah, I have to change the subject to more of you. Chris, it has been just so wonderful for so many of us to spend the years of your life here. Your life's work is here, and a lot of that is captured on video. Danny O'Dwyer spent a lot of yesterday going through a lot of footage. He was sick today, as you know, but I went through a lot more footage, and we put together something. Suffice to say, 9 years of work does not fit into 3 minutes. But we put something together to remember all of the wonderful things that you've done here, and we'd like to show it.
Oh my goodness. A montage.
Yeah. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
The day is Thursday, January 8th, and the show is GameSpot News. The host, Chris Waters. The setting, the GameSpot offices in San Francisco, California. The producer, Josh Shaw, sets the shot. The microphone is affixed, the stories are memorized, the sideburns are mostly symmetrical. All that remains is to say that one little word. Action.
Video review.
The mention of World War II and video game in the same sentence may trigger sudden onset apathy in many gamers, but one series has historically proven to be a tonic for this crippling ennui. Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, we lost one.
Hey guys.
What's up, Chris?
All right, Chris.
Never mind.
Then welcome, weary internet user. Welcome to The Gun Show, the show that is kickstarting its own floating theocratic metropolis. We've decided to name it Gunstopia, and that's as far as we got. Let's just kill it with guns. Lots of weird up guns. The M1216 goes bap, 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 then baps some more. Hashtag Baptacular, hashtag Baps on Parade. Science murder. On the first tweet of Christmas, the gun show sent to me the shotgun from Spelunky. Everybody, welcome to Multiple Players. Multiple Players. Hey, folks, welcome to Multiple Players.
There's a hand walking around.
Give me those souls. Give me those souls.
Yeah, I think
Feel it. That is creepy as hell.
my dad.
What a turn of Assassin's Creed Unity. It's Chris Waters. Hey, folks, welcome to the GameSpot Studios, and welcome to Today on the Spot for Tuesday, September 22nd. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and joining me over here is Lark Anderson. There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna have to double only in Warzone.
And Cliff Blazinski.
What? Cliffy B?
Yes, I'm Clifford Q. Blazinski.
Tell me what he's like.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Horde and the Alliance alike, welcome to Warlords of Draenor Worldwide Cinematic Premiere!
It's a game that made me so happy to play video games and to love them, and so happy for where video games are going in the future. It was a lot of fun having you here. Hope you had fun joining us. And we'll see you next week for On the Spot, live from the GameSpot Studios. Have a great weekend.